Has your current rhino become a pacifist? Does your rhino have a gambling problem? Are you just so darn tired of your rhino staring at soup all day? Then come on down to Randy's Rhino Ranch and put yourself in a brand new C18 model rhino. Okay, welcome to Randy's Rhino Ranch. Hope you enjoyed that intro. I wanted to have a little bit of fun with my first preview card, but yes, before we jump into this video, wanted to give a big shout out to Wizards of the Coast. Thank you so much for giving us a free preview card. We definitely appreciate it. So we have Loyal Guardian. That's going to be 4 colorless mana and a green. Trample, Lieutenant. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, put a +1 counter on each creature that you control. Now this is going to go great in a lot of your token decks and sort of decks that care about having +1 counters on their creatures, whether it's proliferate. But another really cool thing about this ability is it's going to trigger at the beginning of combat, so it's not necessarily an attack trigger. It's going to be able to get the benefit of that +1 counter on your creatures without having to swing in. Maybe you have some sort of complicated board state you're not that excited about swinging into. You're still going to get that extra value of getting those +1 counters on each creature that you control. Now this is going to go great in a lot of your +1 counter decks, like I mentioned. Stuff like Atraxa, you're going to be able to take advantage of that proliferate ability at your end step. Voral's going to be able to double the number of counters that you got on a certain creature. And then stuff like Gov is going to allow you to have access to extra fungus activations by getting those tokens onto the battlefield. And of course your token decks, stuff like Hapatra and Reese the Redeemed, you're going to spend your early turn to getting down Hapatra, getting down Reese, get those tokens going, and by the time you get to 5 mana, you should be in a really good position to get those +1 counters going on a lot of the tokens on the board. Now, one thing that I definitely wanted to do to kind of celebrate this preview card was build a deck around it. So I definitely wanted to kind of visualize Randy's Rhino Ranch, and we're going to make Rune of the Hidden Realm. So we have Rune that's going to be 2 colorless mana, green, white, and a blue, Vigilance and Trample. And then for a 2 mana activation, exile another target creature, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So to celebrate this preview card, I wanted to build a Rhino Tribal deck, and we're going to highlight some of the other Commander Rhinos that you can definitely run in your very own Randy's Rhino Ranch. Stuff like Stonehorn Dignitary is going to work really well in a deck like this. We're going to make our opponent skip their combat step, and then we can bounce it with Rune. Dauntless Escort's basically going to be your insurance for your Rhino. You can sacrifice it to make sure that your creatures gain indestructible. And then stuff like Mirror Sigil. You know, at the beginning of combat, we're going to be able to make a copy of this one as long as we have a blue permanent on the battlefield. It's like the Rhino that keeps on giving. It's the Jelly Club of the month. Stuff like Rocks is going to be able, your beater Rocks, you can kind of swing in with your creature. It's going to be able to deal damage as a weren't blocked. And then it does have that 3 mana activation of regenerating. And of course, we do have Soup Rhino. You're just going to stare at a bowl of soup long enough for you to draw a card, which is always nice to have that enter the battlefield trigger. We also have some other aggressive Rhinos that allow us to kind of swing in for some good combat damage. We have Thriving Rhinos can enter the battlefield with that energy. Once again, keeping on theme with that enter the battlefield, we can kind of bounce that creature to keep that energy flowing to go for those +1 counters. Razorfield Rhino, we have our very own Wormcoil Rhino once we have that Metalcraft online. And then stuff like Rubbleback Rhino, it's going to have Hexproof to make sure it's protected on the battlefield. Charging Rhino can't be blocked by an additional creature. And then Rocks Maulers, which is going to have that renowned ability of getting those +1 counters on there. And plus it has that Trample build, which is always really nice to have. We're also running some honorary Rhinos in the deck that really kind of help Randy's Rhino Ranch do really well. Stuff like Skin Shifter, we can go for a 1 green mana activation to turn it into a 4/4 Rhino, and it gains Trample. Cards like Mirror Image are going to work really well in a deck like this, especially with the Rune's bounce ability. We can have it enter the battlefield as a copy of like Stonehorn Dignitary, which is going to make them skip their draw step. And if we have enough mana, we can kind of keep skipping that attack step for our opponent. And then stuff like Mirror Entity, it's a changeling, so it will count as a Rhino, so it's going to get the benefit of any sort of tribal bonus that we're running. And it also has that mana sink where we can make our creatures get power and toughness XX and gain all creatures types. And then cards like Bramble Sovereign is going to allow us to kind of piggyback on some of those enter the battlefield triggers, or simply just kind of swarm the board with a ton of Rhinos. And of course, Chameleon Colossus, it is the really tall Rhino. It has protection from black and has that 4 mana activation of really kind of boosting that power and toughness. Now, as far as maintenance and upkeep on your Rhinos, you definitely want to have some sort of artifacts to make sure you can keep your Rhinos up to date. We have Erd right here, which is going to be able to get that on the battlefield, provide our Rhinos a +2/+2 bonus. Alpha status, we're going to be able to put it on one of our Rhinos that does have Trample, and it's going to get +2/+2 for each creature that is a Rhino type. And then also running stuff like Coat of Arms. Each creature is going to get +1/+1 for each creature in play of the same creature type. So, long story short, let's say we have 5 Rhinos on the battlefield. All Rhinos are going to get +5/+5, and then really make it easy for you to go for that nice alpha swing. And then also stuff like Adaptive Automaton and Metallic Mimic. These are the mechanics for your Rhino. Are going to be able to get these on the battlefield and provide a really nice bonus to whatever sort of Rhinos we get going. Now, you definitely want to be able to send your rhinos into overdrive, and so we have some more honorary rhinos, stuff like Craterhoof Behemoth and Thunderfoot Baloth. They're going to fit perfectly into our game plan of giving some really high power and toughness bonuses, and then also stuff like Chroma's Memorial is going to make sure that rhinos believe that they can fly and let them kind of just, I don't know, just really enjoy imagining rhinos flying in the air as all of a sudden they're just like, what is this strange feeling? I don't know, it makes me happy. Some other really good stuff you definitely want to run in your Randy's Rhino Ranch deck is going to be some sort of creatures that have some really good utility into the battlefield effects. So stuff like Eternal Witness, Farhaven Elf, and Reclamation Sage, we're going to be able to keep bouncing these creatures to take advantage of the enter the battlefield triggers. And then also stuff like Reflector Mage and Mystic Stake is going to allow us to kind of have a little bit more of a control over the board state before us. But that is going to be it for Randy's Rhino Ranch. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope you enjoyed that preview card. I will be doing Randy's Rhino Ranch on my channel or MTGO Traders as soon as this card releases on Magic Online, so I can't wait to get Randy's Rhino Ranch going for you. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome MTG content just like this. And make sure to tap the bell icon to be notified whenever a video is made live. If you want to keep watching content, here are 2 more videos for you. This video and many others are sponsored by MTGO Traders and Cape Fear Games. Buy and sell digital singles to build your online collection today with MTGO Traders, and get your paper singles, accessories, and much more from Cape Fear Games. Whatever your Magic needs, both places have you covered.